Shoo. Good morning, good morning. Back again with another tea with Tenzin in my car. It's comfortable. And yes, I got my tea. Oop. This time, I also have a glass with me. So let's see. Trying to make it cozy. Tea with Tenzin. Don't want to spill it. Ooh, look at this. This is the tea from Vienna. It's a fruity tea. Mmm, freshly made. It's hot. Now I need to find a place to put this. God damn, risky. It's too risky. Um, I got more. So yeah, uh, today I wanted to talk about something I think is very important. It's about how, first of all, I would say I consider myself someone who is mostly happy and a peaceful guy. It's weird when you say it yourself, but I do consider myself someone who is mostly peaceful and happy. Not the happy, woo, like as if you're high or I don't know, but the more stable level of happiness. So that's why I like the word peaceful, being at peace more than being happy constantly. And especially yesterday, I wrote down a couple of pages actually, the things that really helped me to be more peaceful and be more happy. So yeah, 2, 3, 4 pages writ. So yeah, it's going to be a long one. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, popcorn, whatever, and let's talk about it. Hmm. And I'm doing it fasted. My stomach is already making noises. I came to a park nearby. It's kind of like bigger than a park, a wood, and I've also got some cookies, Belvita cookies. So after finished recording, I'm going to eat this and go on a walk. As in the community, we are doing the weekly challenge for this week in our community is to do 5K walks. As you know, they recommend walking 10K steps a day, right, to live healthy. But I thought maybe because of work, because of school, because of life, sometimes you don't have time to do a 10K steps a day, right? So I suggested doing a 5K steps to start. And if you still do 10K, there's a bonus. So we are starting with 5K steps. I've been doing it for the last couple of days. And I've been really enjoying it. Going through the park, going through the woods, being in the moment. Something I also want to talk about in this video as well that really helps you to be more at peace and happiness. So I've written down a couple of points, right? There is no particular order, so one is not necessarily more important than the other. I just wrote down what came into my mind. So I've been really thinking about, living a fulfilling, meaningful life, living a life that's basically being more at peace. And as you know, I've been to Asia, right? I've traveled for almost 7 months, around 7 months. And during that trip, I was thinking more and more about this, and I was thinking, what is it that making me, you know, at peace and being more happy? And I had to write it down so that I can help others, right? Because I think there are people struggling with it, and if I can just help few people, even if it's just one people, I think it's worth it to do it. So yeah, if you're struggling with this video is for you. Just it's it's just going to be a long one, and I apologize for much stuffy nose. So the first thing I wrote down is memento mori. As you know, memento mori is a Greek phrase from Stoicism. It translates to remember you're going to die, or remember we are mortals. It means that we have limited time on this earth, right? Think some people might see it as something negative when people think about their death. Like Stoic philosophers, they used to do that, meditating on their death. I see it differently. I think it can be something positive as well. You know, when you think about your death, you realize there's only limited time that you have on this earth. So that makes you think about what you're truly doing in your life, and think about what you really want to do. The think about Let me check if I'm recording the audio just to be sure. Okay. The think about feeling less happy or being less at peace is mostly we fear a lot about people's judgment, what other people are thinking about you, whatever you're doing. And that holds you back a lot. That holds us, like even me, holds me back, or in the past it did. So when you think about that, when you think you know you're going to die, you know other people are going to die. So why let the judgment of others hold you back? Like really think about it. And most of the time, they are not even thinking about you. They are too worried about their own lives because we are selfish people. Self, it's important, right? They don't. Most of the time, they don't really think about it. And even if they do, right, it's not going to last. They will forget about you in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. So why worry? Like, I think that's one of the sources of like unhappiness, the judgment of others. Like craving and for the external validations. That is what's holding us back. Like the fear of judgment holds a lot of people back from living their life to the fullest. It did to me, honestly, a few couple of years ago when I wanted to start creating content. For a while, I was really scared of like the people's judgment, putting myself out there, right? Still, a lot of people worry about that, and that holds them back from doing something they truly want. But I don't think you can let that hold you back. You just have one life. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Live your life on your own terms. That's something that I'm an advocate for. I try to live a life that I truly want on my own terms, living authentically. Because I know there's only one life, right? I want to live it to the fullest. So I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect at not letting other people's judgment hold myself back, but I've gotten much better at it. So I think it's important to think about memento mori, think about your death. It also give you this urgency of like, don't wait. You don't know when will be your last, last day of last chance of the opportunity. You just have to grasp it and go for it. Don't wait for the perfect time. So that really helps with that. I think it's good to meditate on your death time to time. Another thing I wrote down is, yes, like I said, craving for the approval of others, external validations. We are social beings, right? So I know from like thousands of years ago, we had to be social. We had to get along with our own tribe. So if you didn't, you get they throw you out of your tribe, and then most likely you die. So it's still in us to be more social and get along with other people. So it will always be in us. But the thing is, I think it's more important to have validation from inside, like from yourself. Make yourself proud. You know, be how shall I say, like building a good relationship with yourself. I think that's more important than trying to find an external validation, getting trying to get approval from other people. I don't think that's a good way of doing it. Like trying to get external results, like putting too much importance on that or getting approved by, like trying to fit in and everything. Yeah, we used to do that. Like people did that in high school. Yeah, but I see people doing it still now after school, trying to fit in, and they are too scared to be themselves. I think you should have enough courage to just be yourself, be your authentic self. That I, that's what I always preach, right? Be your authentic self, and you will find your people. If they don't accept your people, if they don't accept you as who you are, who you really are, they aren't your friends. I don't think you belong there. I will always, how shall I say, stay behind, like living your life authentically, being true to yourself, and having enough courage to just be your true self and living your life on your own terms. The next thing I wrote down, amor fati. Amor fati. This specific thing was exactly what I was thinking the most about during my trip. Amor fati, which means love of faith, right? And how I see it is, you accept that life is happening for you and not life is happening to you. The good and the bad, you embrace and welcome those things. Love of faith, when something good happens, you are grateful for it. You take time to feel grateful. And when things get challenging and when you have down moments, you see it as an opportunity, an opportunity to grow. You tell yourself, this is making me stronger. I'm learning something from it. And this might turn out to be something good. You never know, right? So embracing everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's how I am more at peace. I rarely get angry, I rarely get upset. It's because of these way of thinking, these philosophies, that really helps me to keep my mind at like a good level, as a stable level. The next one, is, I think, one of the most important things that causes unhappiness. Unhappiness, disappointment, which is expectations. Expecting from the outside world. Expectations of, for example, outcomes, certain outcomes. Like, for example, creating content, you put out content and you expect it to do well. And when it doesn't, you get disappointed, right? Having expectations, even with people as well, your friends, family, even strangers. We tend to expect something, and then when it doesn't happen, you get disappointed, right? You get angry, get upset by your friends, family. So I've learned it a couple of years ago to expect less from people, from outside world, which I don't have control over, right? Let's say, for example, you set a time to meet up with a friend, and the friend doesn't come on time. The initial emotion and thought is like, oh, okay. You get upset, right? You get disappointed. But then I catch myself doing that and think, it is what it is. Like, you don't have control over them. So you calm yourself down. It really helps when you have less expectations of things and of people. And if the outcomes, turn out to be good, or when people, how should I say it? When you don't expect and something good happens, when someone does something good, you're more grateful, you're happy about it. That's how I think about it. Like, with all these ideas here, right? I'm just sharing my thoughts and my experience, so you don't necessarily have to agree with everything, right? I think, like, having less expectations really helps me with being more at peace and being, let's say, happy. The next thing I wrote down is Dao De Ching. Dao De Ching is this book that I'm currently reading from Lao Tzu. It's like, it's poetic, and it's like verses. Like, every page is um, written in a poetic way. I really like it. Sometimes you have to read a couple of times and take time to really think about what he really meant by that. So, a couple of years ago, I came across the word Wu Wei. I didn't necessarily understand what it meant, and recently, the word, I don't know, maybe I saw it in a video, and I thought I have to learn more about it. Whoa, what was that? Something fell on my car. Wu Wei, I think it's very interesting. Wu Wei basically means effortless action or non-action. It doesn't mean, like, some people take it the wrong way and they think not doing anything or being passive. No, it means you're not forcing something. It comes more natural to you. You're going with the natural flow of life. I think that's one of the key points in from Tao Te Ching, Taoism. The point that I want to make is, I don't force things anymore. Maybe I used to force things a little bit more, but now these days, even with people, outcomes, whatever it is, I try not to force it. especially creating content. I don't want to force these things. It's something that I want to enjoy, so I'm finding ways to make it more enjoyable, right? Making unscripted videos or minimal scripting videos, recording it in my car outside. I It feels more natural to me, and that's what I'm doing. Like constantly adjusting and finding the thing that I enjoy and something that's sustainable, where I don't have to force. Right? When you don't force things, when things come natural to you, whatever it is that you're doing, you get into this flow state as well. Right? Right now, I'm getting into the flow state the longer I record this video. Now, I'm not thinking about my past, I'm not thinking about my future. I'm in the present moment and I'm really enjoying it. That's when you know you're doing something right, doing something that you enjoy. I think it's very important. I talked about it in the last video. And you get into this flow state, and that's the best feeling when you're into the flow state. So I wrote down some things, right? Let's see. Not needing to be right all the time. Like I said, I'm not forcing things. So if someone disagree with me and if someone has a different opinion on things, I don't force the other person to have the similar viewpoint as me. No, I just agree to disagree, or just accept that we all have diverse perspective on things, right? And just accept it, embrace it. You don't need to force the other person to see it in your own way and just trying to bring them to your side, or you know, don't force them. There is no one right answer, right? That's what I've learned. There are multiple ways of looking at something, and you are not necessarily always right. So don't try, be open to, as I tell myself this a lot of times, be open to being wrong. I'm open to being wrong. I don't talk in absolutes, or at least I don't try to talk in absolutes. So when someone show me something, if they're right, I would admit I was wrong. mm, I thought about an idea, but I think I wrote it down in the next couple of points. Thinking long term, I talked about this in the last video. This is something that also helps you to be more at peace and be more happy with life, because when you think long term, right, you are more patient. I see a lot of people, they don't try to think long term. They always try to get the fastest way, trying to find shortcuts, the quickest way of getting to their destination. My, this is my opinion, right? Whatever you do, whatever you do, I think it's important to think long term. And the example that I can give is whatever, like building your physique, going to the gym, or starting your content creation journey. It's a long term thing, right? It's going to take a while. It's not easy. And if you don't think long term, if you are thinking about like going viral or making quick money, you will most likely be disappointed and you will quit. You gotta think this is a long term thing, right? I'm running a marathon, not a sprint. So even if it takes long, I'm okay with it. I will be patient with it. Because if it's something worthwhile to you, obviously it will take time. Otherwise, everyone would do it, right? That's how I think. Whatever I start, like self improvement, you can improve yourself till the day you die, right? And it doesn't make me feel bad or anything. On the how do you say it? On the contrary, it makes me feel good because I know there are a lot of room that I can grow and I can constantly improve. I'm playing the infinite game, like I've heard from Alex Ramosi. Even when content creation, I see myself doing this till the day I die. So I'm not craving and being obsessed about getting quick results. That's how I can stick to it much longer than anyone else because I think long term. With everything I do in life, I think long term. Whatever journey you go on, right, you will face ups and downs. You will go through the dip. Most people go through the dip when they start a new career or when they embark on a new journey. When you have patience and when you think long term, you will more more likely stick with it and get to the other side if you think long term. The next okay. The next thing I wrote down is the story of the Chinese farmer. Damn, the story of the Chinese farmer. I don't know if you heard about it. I'll try to keep it short. So once there was a Chinese farmer and he had a son, right? And one day his son was trying to tame the horses. He was riding the horses, right? Maybe he was playing with the horse, just riding, and he fell off the horse and broke his leg. And the neighbors of the old farmer came to them and said, "Oh, what a misfortune! What a bad luck that he broke his leg." The Chinese farmer thought, looked at them and shrugged his shoulders and said, "Maybe." And then the next day, mm, damn, I told the story wrong. It was the first thing should have been the one of their horses runs away. He runs away, and then the neighbors come to the farmer and they say like it's a misfortune and what a bad luck. And the Chinese farmer says maybe. And the next day, the horse that ran away comes back with other wild horses. And again, the the neighbors of the village comes by and says, "Whoa, you're so lucky! Now you have more horses." The Chinese farmer again shrugs his shoulders and said, "Maybe." Couple of days passed, and the like I said, the son of the farmer tried to he was trying to tame the wild horses, right? And he was riding one of the horses. That's the story. My apology. So yeah, he was trying to tame the wild horse, but wild horses. Then he fell. He broke his leg. The neighbors, the villagers came and said, "Oh, what a misfortune! He broke his leg." And again, the Chinese farmer said, "Maybe." And then during that time, uh, the land was with war with other country. The soldiers came and they were recruiting people, and because they came by the farmer's house, and because the the son is has a broken leg, they didn't recruit him, so he didn't have to go fight the war. And then again, the neighbors came and said, "Oh, you got so lucky that he broke his leg, so he didn't have to go fight the war." And again, the Chinese farmer says, "Maybe." the The moral of the story is you never know. You can never know if something is good or bad. You cannot label it good or bad, because something good that happens can turn out to be something bad, and when something bad happens, it can turn out to be something good. I use it to deal with when something bad happens. When something happens that didn't want it to happen and it happened, I think it's all right. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. Can turn out to be something good. Most of the time, it does. For example, when you don't get a job that you wanted, that you interviewed for, you didn't get it, and then you apply for another job, and the another job turns out to be much better than the first job, right? You never know. So that really helps you to be more at peace with whatever happens to you, whatever life throws at you. You can say, maybe it's something good, maybe it's something bad. Amor fati, love of fate. I think every point that I make, right, that I'll share is connected with everything. And I'm getting thirsty. Good tea. All right. Don't be too quick to label something as good or bad. That's the advice. The next thing. This is a practical thing that you can do, which is meditating. Yep. I preach meditating from the beginning when I started creating content. You want peace, you want happiness, start meditating. If I can recommend one thing, start meditating. Being at peace and being happy is not necessarily what happens to you, outside events. It's how you look at things, right? It's all in the head. It's all in how you look at things that makes you feel happy or sad or at peace or not at peace. That's why I think like our mind is very fascinating. I'm really fascinated about the mind and how we can use it for better, changing our perspective, shifting our mindset. Damn, it's kind of annoying. And the best way to improve your mindset, the way you think, the way you look at things, is meditating. I cannot stress this enough. Meditating, meditating, meditating. Before doing this, I meditated. When you meditate, I just do the basic meditating. Like I close my eyes, I focus on my breathing, and inevitably, you will start to think about different things. Whatever thoughts, whatever you did in the past, or whatever you're planning on doing, or whatever problem you have right now, you will start to think about different things. And the practice here is you try to bring back the focus to the breathing. You say, okay, I'm aware. I was thinking about that. Okay, now let's bring the focus back to the breathing. And then eventually you will wander off again, think about something else. You will start to think about something else. And then Your job is to be aware of it. Okay. Oh, I was thinking about that. Now let's bring back. You do this a couple of times throughout each session, and you're training your brain to be more aware of your thoughts, even your emotions and the feelings in your body. That after a while, it becomes more natural and more of a second nature that you do it automatically throughout the day. When you get angry about something, or when you feel upset about something, and when you start to think something negative or even positive, you will catch yourself doing that. And that's how you can control your thoughts and even your emotions. It's not a overnight thing. Trust me, it's not an overnight thing. It will take weeks, months, even years. But eventually you will start to notice that you start to do it more automatically. And at that point, I'm sure the level of your peacefulness and happiness will be much higher. I have to be careful about the battery because I don't want it dying before I finish recording this video. Alright, highly recommend meditating. Start with few seconds to 1 minute. Make it as easy as possible so that you can build up the momentum and build up that habit to eventually start doing 5, 10, 20, 1 hour, whatever. Some people do an hour long meditation. The next thing I wrote is finding your Ikigai, finding your purpose. This will truly help you with it. When you have something that you are striving for in life, when you find that one thing, your Ikigai, your purpose, whatever you want to call it, life gets much more exciting. Much more exciting. Like I said in previous videos, you don't need an alarm clock to wake up. Your passion, your purpose, your Ikigai will wake you up in the morning. When you deal with setbacks, the dip, the time where you don't see any results, you're putting in all the work and you still don't see any results. Like these will help you endure those things. Having a purpose, having an Ikigai, I think it's very important to think about that. Even doing the Ikigai practice, the Venn diagram of things that you love doing, your passion, things that you are good at, things that you can get paid for, and things that the world needs. And at the middle, you will find the thing that is your Ikigai. I would recommend doing the Ikigai practice. You might not find it at first try, but you will start to think more and more about it, and then maybe in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, you'll start to, find that thing. And it might not be the thing at, you know, the first try. You might try it and might not be your thing, but you have to keep going. You have to keep searching and trying new things, and eventually you'll find it. I did it. I've tried a lot of things. Trust me, a lot of things, and eventually I did find my thing, my ikigai. The level of happiness, the gratitude, the peace that you get when you are following your purpose, your ikigai, when you are doing something meaningful, you're doing something that has a positive impact on people's life, and you get that fulfillment, there's no better feeling than that. Trust me, I know it sounds uh, wishy-washy, or I don't know, woo-woo thing. Trust me, it really helps. Most people think that it's not important to spend time on that. They just want to make quick money, and they think that it's not important to think about your ikigai or your purpose. In my opinion, they are wrong. The thing is, the first thing that you should do is think about your ikigai, think about your purpose. I would recommend reading the book, the Ikigai book, actually. It's the blue one. And they don't only talk about finding your Ikigai, they also talk about how the Okinawans they improve their lifespan. They talk about longevity, the habits, and the lifestyle that they live. That's how they live more healthy and longer life. I think for especially for a beginner on their own self improvement journey, it's a great book. The book Ikigai, the blue one. The next thing I wrote down living in the moment, being present. You know, obviously, you know that it's important to live in the moment. Try to live in the moment. We are constantly rushing through life, and we have less focus. We spend less time being present, and we get too distracted about, for example, you think about the past, you feel bad, right? You think about the past. Oh, I regret doing that and feel bad. Or you get anxious about thinking about the future. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. What if it goes badly? And when you want to find true happiness and peacefulness, try being in the moment. When you are in the moment, you're present, whatever you're doing or whoever you're with. You will not feel unhappiness or feel bad or anxious. You'll be present, you'll be happy, you'll be at peace. I think it's very important. And one weird thing that I do to be more present is I look at my hand. That's a I've trained my brain to see it as a signal to be more present. That's one way of doing it. The another way is like I said, meditating. I I can catch myself automatically most of the times and remind myself to be present. Uh, One time I was with my friends, right? And I caught myself really enjoying the moment. I was smiling and I told them that I'm really enjoying this moment and I'm grateful for this. They looked at me weirdly. Yeah, but yeah, it might sound weird, but yeah. Uh, Sometimes I do catch myself. Let's say I'm thinking about something else. I catch myself doing that and then remind myself to be more present. Even like rushing. Sometimes when I'm eating, like I'm rushing through it. Then I catch myself, oh shit, I'm not even really tasting and being appreciative of the taste of the food. Then I consciously slow down. I tell my brain even to slow down, take it easy, taste every single bit of the food, and appreciate it, enjoy it. Even with when I'm with a friend or whoever, I tell myself, be present, be present. Don't get distracted. Don't think about anything else. Just be present. Live in the now. I try not to get distracted by notifications. And the thing that I see, right, like I see people meet up with whoever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your friends, your family. You're sitting there talking, and then out of nowhere they start to open their phone, and they're just scrolling on, like, say, TikTok while you are with your friend. That's kind of messed up, to be honest. I try not to do that when I'm with my family or friends. I try not to just, maybe sometimes you get a message or a notification, right? That's fine, but I don't start scrolling through TikTok or Instagram. That's messed up. Just be careful with that. Be conscious about it. Be aware of it. Live in the moment. When you don't live in the moment, right? Time passes by and you don't know what the hell. When you appreciate, when you're in the moment, time slows down, right? Your time slows down. You're enjoying the moment, being more present, it being more memorable as well. So constantly remind yourself. Put it as a reminder on your phone, like throughout the day, a couple of times, reminding yourself to be more present. I used to do that. Hmm. It's a great tea. The next thing I wrote down is Stoicism. You know the ancient Greek philosophy, Stoicism? Apparently, I'm parked near a container park for, the glass bottles and everything. So people come here to throw their bottles and glasses away. Yes, I like the philosophy Stoicism. I do resonate with it. The main idea in Stoicism is you focus on things that you can control and you let go of things that you can't control. Simple as that. I've seen people stress about things which is totally out of their control. They get obsessed about things that are not in their control. Like I know people who obsess about the numbers on social media, how, the views, the likes, the metrics. They get too obsessed about it, and when it doesn't perform well, they get upset. They feel bad, sad. Even like expecting other people to do certain things to you when you do something, and trying to control people. You cannot control people. You don't have control over people. You don't have control over outside world, the weather, whatever the outcomes. What you do have control over is your inner self, your actions, how you look at things, your perspective on things. Focus on that. Try to improve the way you think, taking good action, being more disciplined. Those are the things you can control. And that helps you with dealing with stress, dealing with anger when you're trying to control certain things, like people or outcome. When you don't do that, you will be less disappointed, less upset, which in turn will make you more happy and more at peace. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is simple, honestly. It's simple, but not easy. It takes A lot of practice takes months, takes years to do it. Inner peace. This is the word that I really like. Inner peace. Whatever happens outside the outside world, you'll still have your inner peace. That's something I think we should strive for instead of like happiness. Yeah, what is happiness? Constantly being like high or what's the word? I like the subtleness, the subtle peace, serenity. All right, another thing, accept and embrace the cards you are dealt with, whatever you are born with, and just make the most of it. I remember when I was with a couple of friends, someone asked, "Is there a thing that you would like to get rid of about yourself?" I I really thought about it, and then I said no because I have learned to accept my strengths and my weaknesses. Things that I cannot control, that I'm born with, I accept it. Things that I can control and things that I can improve, I do constantly try to improve. And there are a lot of things that I can improve upon. So I have the think about, accepting the cards that you're dealt with and just making the most of it. I really believe in that. Instead of complaining about things that you can't control and things that you cannot change, what's the point of it, right? What's the point of it? Just focus on things that you can improve, whether it's physically or more importantly, mentally. Focus on that. I haven't had the easiest childhood growing up, but now that I think about it, I wouldn't change a thing because that made me who I am today, and I like who I am today. The hard times that I've been through, the good times, good and bad. I wouldn't change a thing. I tell them, I tell it to my friends, my family. I wouldn't change a thing. Like sometimes my mom get upset about things that she couldn't provide and things that happened in my life. I tell my mom, I wouldn't change a thing. You shouldn't feel bad about things that happened. I am honestly happy with everything that turned out, the good and the bad, because that made me who I am today. Just, I mean, I know it's not always, especially when you're going through, when you are a child and you're going through hard times, it's hard to accept things, right? It's hard. You are a child. You haven't gathered the knowledge, the wisdom, the experiences. So, yeah, it wasn't easy. But now looking back, I'm glad it happened. So, I think just accept it. Accept the past. You cannot change the past. And that made you who you are today. Now think about the present moment and what you can do moving forward. What is in your control? Focus on that. I wrote down fixed and growth mindset as well. People tend to complain, oh, I'm born this way, oh, this, my circumstances. Uh, I'm not this, I'm not that. He's talented. He's born as if people are born with those things. Fixed mindset is basically someone who thinks like whatever they have, they cannot change it. And their excuses are, oh, he's just natural at this and that's his talent and I can never do that. I could never. I always preach having a growth mindset. Because because most of the things in life you can learn. You can get better at things. It's learnable. Most of the things in life, whatever you want to achieve. Like have this type of mindset. Maybe you can say, maybe I cannot do it right now. But if I put, work in it, take it seriously, I can do it. I can get better at it. That's the type of mindset you should have, having a growth mindset. It is possible. It is possible. Be optimistic. Don't just accept defeat. Don't. I think most of the things that you think you cannot do, I think you can. If you put your mind to it and work hard for it. I wrote down being selective about what you consume. Yeah, that's a big thing. Mindlessly doom scrolling, being too obsessed about the news, having opinions on everything. Really. Yeah. Now, how do I do this? Let me drink my tea, alright? God damn. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. Now I'm struggling with tea. Take time to think about what we talked about today. Okay. Damn, the battery is almost going to die. Okay. It is what it is. Okay. Hopefully I can finish it before. Okay. I'll have to keep it short, the last couple of points. So just don't mindlessly consume content. Don't compare yourself with others. Because on social media you see only the highlights, right? And then you start to compare them with yourself and then you feel bad about it. Comparison is thief of joy, right? Even news, right? News, they show mostly the negative things that happens, right? That attracts more people when you show something negative, something dangerous that happens. And because they have to make money, right? They tend to show more of the negativity than the positivity. So I tend to not, I don't necessarily, or I don't really watch news. It gets to you and then you don't have control over it. Things that, like here, maybe Mahatma Gandhi said it, be the change you wish to see in the world. Instead of having opinions on everything, or someone should do this, someone should do that, he should do this, she should do that. Stop talking about that and just be a good person, right? Like, what was the thing from Marcus Aurelius? Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Just be a good person and be a good example, right? And other people around you will get inspired by it, and then they will try to be a good example to other people around them, and then that's how you build a ripple effect, and that's how you might change the world by doing that. Stop talking, just be inspired through action. Slow living, quality over quantity. Okay, so there is the quote from Seneca, right, in his book on shortness of life. It's it it's that he says, we it's not that we have short time to live necessarily, but that we waste most of it. If you don't waste your time on meaningless trivial thing, I think life is long enough, honestly. And we don't have control over it, so why worry about and complain about life being too short? Just make the most of it, live your life intentionally, right? Don't waste your time on countless hours of doom scrolling, Netflix, gaming, partying. Do something meaningful, something that you're passionate about, something that is fulfilling, helping others, doing something you enjoy, like drawing, art, making music, making videos, reading, whatever you enjoy, do that. Spend time with your family, quality over quantity. Spend quality times. Spending your time with loved ones, doing something you really enjoy, and then if you have time, try to help others. My apologies, the battery is almost going to die, so I'm like rushing through it. Don't try to rush all the time. I literally wrote down not rushing all the time. But yeah, battery is almost dying, so I'm kind of rushing. But these days, I'm really thinking about slow living, like really enjoying, like going on a walk with no phones. I mean, no music, no podcast or whatever. Just being in the moment, touching the leaves, and looking at all the details. It really helps you be at peace and be happy. All right, here are three quotes that will help you with it. Comparison is thief of joy, like I mentioned. Remind yourself about that. We suffer more in our imagination than in reality, from Seneca. Like, why suffer twice, right? We get stressed or we get anxious about things. Let's say, like, doing a job interview, you're stressing about it. And then the interview happens, and you think, why was I even being anxious and wasting time on it? Why suffer twice? Like, even if it went badly, why suffer twice? And most of the times it turns out better than you expected, so there was no point in suffering. So remind yourself of that really helps when you remind yourself of these quotes, and quotes are easy to remember. And another quote is, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, from Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Quality of your thoughts. It all comes down to your mindset. That's why I think it's so important to develop a right mindset, growth mindset, seeing the positive things in life, being more aware of your thoughts, your emotions through meditating, being kind, keeping promises to yourself. I talked about this before. That's how you build self respect and true confidence. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you say you're going to wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m., do it. When you say you're going to the gym today, go do it. Keep promises to yourself. If you don't, you will lose respect for yourself, and then also other people will lose respect for you as well. Think about that. Building a good relationship with yourself. I always say, be your biggest hype man. Be your biggest hype man. Be kind to yourself. Build a good relationship with yourself. And how you do that is, really care about yourself. Care about your mental health. Like, work on your physique. Make yourself proud. Make your past self proud. Make your future self proud. That's how you build a good relationship with yourself. Be kind to yourself, like I said. Just be yourself, be your authentic self. Have enough courage to be your true self, even if it's a weird thing. I have some people might find me weird because I have, different interests and I am who I am. Might be weird for others, but who cares? Who cares? You'll find your people. Do something, do some challenges. When do you grow? When you're out of your comfort zone, right? Doing challenges, it will get you out of your comfort zone. It will push you. It will make you feel alive when you're doing challenges. You're striving for something. Makes you alive, makes you feel happy. You're growing, and progress equals to when you grow. You're more happy, you're more proud of yourself. Try new activities. Like, for example, I've tried Muay Thai, surfing, hiking, running, chess. I've tried a lot of new activities, and that really helps you. You really enjoy learning something new. Being a beginner again really helps with your happiness level. All right, last thing, practical thing. Journal, reflect, journal about things that what makes you happy. Like, write it down. Like, what brings you joy? What do you really enjoy? I think it's important to take time to reflect on it. I think most people don't even journal and ask these questions to themselves. What do you really want out of life? What truly matters? And when you do, one of the things that you might realize is it's not the materialistic things that will make you happy. That's one of my realization. These days, I put way less importance on materialistic things. I used to um, think about buying a nice house, nice car, nice watch, and everything. But these days, no, those are not important. There are other things that which doesn't cost anything, but it's more meaningful. It's more enjoyable. So think about that. What truly makes you happy? Like, the experiences, I think, is more important than the materialistic things. And through the travel that I did, right, throughout Asia, I realized you don't need much to be happy and peaceful. Just need the little things. You can be happy and peaceful with the little things in life. Like doing something meaningful, doing something enjoyable, following your passion, your purpose, being mindful of things, being more present, experiencing new things, going out in the nature really makes you happy. And all of those things are for free. For free. That was the last thing. Now I can see that I only have 20% left. I thought it was even less, so I had to rush. All right, now I can slow down a little bit. So those were the points that really helped me with being more happy and being at peace. I hope you found something valuable out of it. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to agree with everything that I said. You can try some stuff and see if it helps or not. If not, just throw it away. If it does help, let me know. That would make me happy. And as you can see, I don't worry about making this video as perfect as possible. I'm not worried about the performance of the video. You know, I've learned to be more okay with videos not performing well. Just making videos that I really enjoyed making, that I'm proud of, and then I just put it online and leave it be. Step back and don't get obsessed about the numbers. Doing something doing something that I really enjoy is what I'm striving for. Quality over quantity, not rushing everything. Damn, we've been talking for 72 minutes. I don't think I've made an hour long video. That's crazy. Or actually, podcast, but not a solo video. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's all in the mind. When you can master your mind, you will be more happy and more at peace. You will be unstoppable if you can master your mind. I'm really passionate about it and fascinated about how we can use it for our advantage. By the way, as you know, I talk more about it in our community. We have weekly calls. If you're interested in getting one on one guidance with me, go check it out. You don't have to, but I'm really passionate and dedicated about building this community. Damn, it's kind of irritating. Right, that's it. I'm going to go on a walk. I have to do my 5K walk. I'm not going to listen to anything, just going to enjoy the nature. It's a beautiful park. Damn, yeah. I got my cookie, so I'll eat that. And just enjoy. Be more present. Enjoy the little things in life. And I hope you will do it as well. Let me know in the comments down below if any of this point helps you and you find value in it. Um, my goal is to inspire and motivate people. That brings me fulfillment and that let me know I'm doing something meaningful. So yeah, I hope you did. That's it. Um, like I always say, stay courageous, live a courageous life, have enough courage to be yourself, and I think you will live a good life, a meaningful life. All right, that's it. Stay courageous, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.